I'm based in the Bay Area. I'm finding also like going the route of a corporate trustee is becoming harder and harder for families because banks are really pushing up their minimums. So I've heard anywhere from like 3 to 5 million is a minimum, and most families don't have that. So who's going to serve them? So there's been this real like growing need on top of people just living so long. My model client, I had a client pass a few years ago at 110.
Oh, geez.
So yes, as for my clients that come to me in their 70s and 80s, naming me in documents, and they're like, we might have a few more years in us. I was like, no, you could definitely have a few more decades. So you never know.
110. So I'm 58 and a half almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what? That's 51 and a half. Geez, God.
Yeah.
I mean, I did
Tired
plan to
already.
103, but man, those extra 7 years just really get me a little tired thinking about
Yes.
it.
Yes.
It's California. I might have to live that long just to pay off the bills. So we're talking to people caring for someone with dementia. What would you recommend, or why would you recommend that they consider using a service like yours?
I mean, most people, like we talked about, I feel like in the very beginning of our conversation, when you're going through this journey with whether it's your parent or, just a loved one in your life through dementia, it's like most people, it's the first time they're going through it. So you're not well resourced. You likely haven't really thought about any of these, the factors, whether it's, where they're going to live and age in place, all the care and complications that come with that. So I find that that's where partnering with a professional, whether it's a professional fiduciary or even just a care manager, can bring such like peace and relief to families because this is what we do professionally day in, day out. And so, we have a lot of solutions. On top of, we're also well resourced. Like we have professional fiduciaries. I think we're one of the most networked, professionals because we have to work with so many different moving pieces for each client. So, between, having amazing financial advisors and realtors and care managers and knowing, the like a placement agency and even, care homes and assisted living facilities, we're kind of dealing with all so many moving pieces for our clients and, many clients over, many years. And so that's where kind of building those relationships and trusts. Um, it's not just one off, right? Where you're kind of going boots on the ground and trying to figure out, okay, we're in a crisis. Who do we hire now? Or, where's mom going to move? Or can we even afford to keep mom at home? So doing that level of assessment is something that I think that most of us have to do quite regularly. The other piece is it allows, the family to just stay family. There really is, I hate to talk about the power differential, but there really is. When you're the trustee and you're holding the purse strings, and you're the one calling the shots and making the bills, paying the bills, if it's one sibling and not the other, that can kind of create a rift in the family and the relationship and people feeling like, oh, they're playing favorites. You already talked about kind of the downside of, if you're sharing that role, it can also add to conflict. So again, working with a neutral party, it can allow you to just go show up and visit mom and dad and just really enjoy that time together, during their final years. For me, I've been described as a really like collaborative, whether I'm a trustee or advanced healthcare decision maker. I'm my approach is for the most part pretty collaborative.